options.
Are we recording?
Yeah.
So we discussed discussion of story.
Tell us the story of midterms.
Math one could have gone better, but there's another one, so it's okay.
Do you have midterms?
I do have one last week that was awful, and everyone did awful, so average was like a 40 out of 100.
Oh no, what
Boy.
class is that?
Chemical kinetics.
Ooh, I hate that.
So that didn't go very well. But I just got out of a midterm in intensive study of the Chicago Blues. So that was difficult.
Cover what?
Chicago Blues.
Oh,
Had to identify whether the songs were rock and roll or country or blues.
That sounds fun.
that sounds fun. Yeah, chemical kinetics, I hate that. Or chemical thermodynamics, I hate that too. Those are the things that I don't like.
How were your weeks?
My week? Oh, I walked down to Alice for 5 times back and forth, so it was really healthy.
Mm-hmm.
Lots of walking, except I'm hungry now.
Is that why I'm hungry? Because I walked over to the press building and back today?
Oh, that's far too. That's a lot.
What was in the press building?
A meeting. People like to have meetings over there. They have nice meeting space, but it's far away.
Mm.
I think they like being nice.
Yeah. Also, they have easy parking.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, it's a huge advantage.
So this year's industrial affiliate program is a big attendance back yesterday.
The Industrial Associates meeting?
Mhm.
Yeah. There were a lot of our students there too. so
Yeah,
it's
there were a
fun.
lot, and our postdoc too, I was
Mhm.
really surprised. So they're supposed to sign up all those interviews by yesterday afternoon. Lots of people looking for jobs.
Are we paying for our students?
Yeah, I think we usually is like $30 per piece, is it? 20? Yeah. Stay silent.
Will do. Sometimes it pays to be ignorant.
Yeah.
There we go. I was very honest with Jim Rondolph. I went back to him and said that we owe you $30 per applicant. Because they wanted to hike the fee this beginning of the year for that application. We said, we're not gonna put it in application fee, that we'll give you $30 per applicant. So we gave them more than $6,000. I went back after the admission season, I'm like, Jim, I owe you $6,000. He said, oh, if everybody's honest like you, my.
Yeah, I think you're probably the only one, Sharon, that's on it. Keep to yourself next time.
No, but I do think the central, like GSA needs some money, you know, they do things for us, so. And apparently they don't get overheads from provost office. But they should get from college, right?
I don't know, I've never seen their budget.
For student admissions?
Mhm.
No, they don't get anything because they always run out by like mid-June.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah,
Yep.
but
Hey,
Hi,
how you doing?
good. How can I help you?
We're picking up something, looking for Yolanda Taylor.
Oh, Yolanda's in 226, which
She's
is,
in 226?
okay,
Thank you.
all right. This is another California. And I really gave feedback to Randy, I said some of these times are too long. He said, you guys are abnormally, people, I said in the beginning when we read abstract, there's not enough time, now there's too much time. And then he says, everybody else is backward.
Oh, really? That they take more time and as they go on?
They said that right now they have so much to talk about it, there's not enough time.
We're just really efficient, maybe.
That's it.
We just got this down.
We got this down. And then we don't have a huge argument. Well, we did have big spread in some cases. That seems like everybody explained their high and low point. Everybody, oh yeah, I see your point, either way.
Right, we're very agreeable.
Okay.
okay, abstract one
What?
and just abstract one, right?
Yeah. Until you hear the beep. There she
Hi,
is.
guys. Sorry to be late. Was in with Melanie,
That's good.
and I brought an assignment for the group.
Oh, story.
Heading into the story.
Is this being naughty?
Let's go to my story.
Number 3. moderator?
I mean, so abstract one is
8.
3,
9.
4, 5.
I gave it 3.
are we tied
I
for
think
the
we're
list?
tied for the low score. And who had a 9?
And then me.
Yeah, okay. So why the 9?
I don't know, I thought it addressed a lot of things really well by introducing it and then puts in some conflict and then goes towards a resolution. I don't know.
What's the conflict?
The conflict is kind of the balance between these different types of algae and the global warming effect.
Okay. And what's the resolution?
Oh, but they're aiming to, the general aims of the thesis. That they're trying to figure out, I mean, it doesn't like solve the problem, but I thought they lead into therefore we're going to measure these things and figure out where we're going.
Why do you give it 3?
I gave it a 3 because it didn't have the sentence that David just said. It just said, this is happening, and then there's the interaction, and how all of this will work together to resolve climate change or whatever would have
Yeah.
bumped my score.
Yeah, I agree. The last sentence seemed more like just a summary.
So I took the as such a shift in dominance was more than therefore. That there's one type of algae, but this other type of algae is blah, 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 as such. We're looking at, which is why that need.
I can see that.
Like a mini ABT in the.
Yeah, sort of embedded in the middle there.
Yeah, I had to read it a few times because I was like,
Yeah, I think they have.
There's a lot of A in the beginning.
Yeah, there-
Yeah,
and
there's
also
a lot
there
of
is
A,
like
for
a,
sure.
there is the beginning and the end is confusing.
Mhm. Yeah, I feel like if they had, it's out of order, it's like a little bit out of order, and then they go back and.
Exactly. They went back at the
Summarize
end.
again, and so then it kind of leads you down a different path, and I think it's confusing for readers.
Because they said twice things are important for the future of the thing.
Mhm.
And then they said it again. So I'm like, wait, I read this before, and I go back and then, oh, okay, so that's why I lowered my, I agree with David, there is some, in the middle actually, the two algae in conflict was okay, but
Yeah.
the beginning and the end is still the
I
algae.
can see that.
Abstract 2, please.
5,
7.
6.
7.
7, 4. Lots of 7s.
Lots of 7s.
I'll start with the low score, so that's me. So 4, I gave it a 4 because it was, I don't know, it was, I thought a little clearer than the first one maybe, but it didn't quite get to therefore for me. Maybe I just understood it a little bit more, it was just a little bit easier to read, like more in order. But why'd you give it 7?
I thought that therefore was pretty clear at the last sentence. It says therefore, basically, we need more study because obviously it's important effect.
Yeah, those therefore statements bother me. Just because it's not a conclusion, it's not a
Right, it's
therefore,
just
it's just saying therefore, we should do some more, and it's like, well,
Yeah.
that's not helping me
Yeah. I
get
can
a
see
grasp
that,
of
yeah.
more on your,
Yeah.
so maybe that's one difference.
So
between-
therefore, just for the sake of a therefore, not.
Yeah.
Right,
yeah.
it's like, therefore we had no conclusion, so we think we should keep studying this.
Yeah,
It's like,
that
well,
makes
that's
sense.
not helpful.
Yeah, I see the point. That to me sounds like, well, at least we know there's a fact we should continue to study instead of stop, you know?
Which I think is probably more of a scientific
Yeah, exactly.
way
Yeah.
of looking at it, right? Like, oh,
Yeah.
good, okay, well, we'll do this some more. Like,
Right.
if I were to write that in a paper
Read
for.
enough grants, you would
Right,
take
that's
this
probably a
uniform.
conclusion for scientists who study open questions.
Right, whereas in the humanities, if you wrote that as your conclusion, that's a cop-out.
Yeah.
No.
See,
I
that's
need to
true,
know how
that's
you
true,
came
I
to
can
this.
see.
But I agree that you can actually take out the first therefore. The present review evaluates blah, 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 blah,
Mhm.
and then have the last sentence serve as the therefore.
Yes, yeah, but again, kind of little.
before they did have a lot of A and A's in the
I
middle.
thought the
Yeah.
but was kind of
It's a little weak.
it was not very, it was weak.
Yeah,
It was
it's not very clear,
pronounced,
but
and it
that's
was,
true.
and it was surrounded by A's,
Mhm.
which I thought made it a little less pronounced than it should have been.
Whether the remains and equivocal. Remains equivocal is the part I
Right.
picked up.
Yeah.
That's not
Me
something-
too,
yeah.
right. I feel like a lot of these, like we've read now, a lot of abstracts like this, like the first two, they are very similar.
Yeah.
Some
Yeah.
of them are more successful than others.
Yeah. In general, they have components, they just don't get called out very clearly.
Mhm.
That's why it causes all sorts of perceptions, depending on how people read it.
Right.
You know.
And there's always a lot of and. 23,
6.
6,
6.
Really? 9?
5. Maybe 2.
Oh my, so I'm the high score. What did I get so generous? I
I just got overwhelmed. Why did you give it the 9? Sure.
I know they had a lot of A's, but then surprisingly, despite these failures, we actually found something that is very clear B, and then the T, this suggests, therefore, you know, blah, blah. So even though the A's are a lot in the front, but I thought overall the structure was very clear. So that's why I give it 9. Probably generous, could be 8.
So I had a low score, but I think it was just because I didn't get through reading all of it.
So much.
And I was just like, and then I had to quickly give it a score, so I was like 2, because it's irritating me. But probably, looking back at the structure of it, I would probably give it like a 5.
Yeah, that's why it is 6, because the ABT was actually pretty good, but there's
Yeah.
too much, like if it was restructured with the A's at the back end,
Yeah,
like there's too much of it on the front end, but it was just.
right, right.
So what I wrote is it was like A, B, A, B, A, T. Like, it was just kind of all over the
Oh,
place.
you have the B,
Yeah.
no B's? I just only
Yeah.
read one B, surprisingly.
Yeah.
That's-
It's too long for me to pick out what the two, I had 2 things stand out as B's.
That's true, that's true. That's what happens when you're trying to cram too much stuff into it. You know, sometimes the less is more.
Yeah, I think it's like right in the middle, you know, there's a couple of points where they say,
Yeah,
but we found this, which was surprising, and then we found that, and then they get eventually. Then they add some more information, just general and information, and then say, therefore.
Mm.
And then eventually they get to the last sentence, which tells you sort of what you've been reading about.
Right.
Right.
In
Which
which
that was
the
helpful.
first abstract was lacking.
Yeah, exactly.
yeah.
So the last sentence was good.
No, the last sentence was good. for sure.
Their T was strong there.
Yeah, but they lost the people in the first 2/3 of the paragraph. So people don't even get to B and a D, you know. It's amazing how people get lost and it's hard to come back, you know.
It also, for me, starts out very abruptly.
Mm.
I feel like they could start it, like cut out most of it and start at our study highlights or something, you know, or
That
like
first
start-
sentence is totally
like a couple
necessary.
before that, and then the end of it is really strong, but the beginning is not.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't until the end I was writing.
Actually, yeah, if you just chop it off at
Yeah.
that point.
Right,
Just
like if I was
it
editing
makes
it, I would
sense,
just be like,
yeah.
we'll just take that whole.
Because they have the B there with surprisingly.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
7?
8.
6.
9.
4, 8.
I have the high score. I must be in a good
So,
mood
me too.
by the time I get to the second page.
Why, so let's start with the low scores.
Yeah, go.
Why the low score?
I just thought it was all AAA. Like, they pretty much explained the story for you, but it's just like, I'm not left wanting to know anything. That was just like my feel for it.
Hmm.
Why the 9?
The 9, it's the same thing. I know there was more A's than there needs to be, but first of all, I didn't get lost. I understand where the story is going, and then of course the peak, the controversy is they found out that Tony was actually the one who lost the dope, and then therefore Tony wanted them dead. And I actually wanted to know what happened. And now they have to escape from Tony, right? They sort of. So it actually get my attention, like, oh no, he's we lost the dope. Yeah, so I saw that served the purpose.
Just kind of imagining it in a you know, those films where you have kind of like a little bit like Reservoir Dogs or Pulp Fiction or something, where you have like a group of people and then another group of people, and then you eventually figure out how all their stories are connected, where it tells them in sort of vignettes and then links them all together in another thread.
So I
That's
saw
kind
that
of what
same
reminded me
thing,
of.
but I didn't like the way they introduced the stuff, because
No,
they go into the fact of like,
good.
you know, that they shoot the victim, and that's like the first like conflict. And then they bring up that
Tony.
they seek help from Tony, and then it's about Tony's dope. So you're kind of like all back and forth in this like linear fashion, as
Right.
opposed
Yeah.
to making it more interesting, like if they'd introduced Tony at the beginning, and then like you circle back to Tony at the end and find out that it was his dope, as opposed to as opposed to adding it
it's your dope.
afterwards.
Okay.
Or,
So-
yeah, or just, I had a note, like T circling back to A, like they just kind of starting to go over again, but I would just take out the last sentence, and I think that would kind of.
But then there
leave you-
won't be any conflict. Tony's dope.
The conflict is that the heist goes awry, for me,
Yeah.
right, it's like, but the heist goes awry when Billy da-da-da.
Mhm.
Therefore, the brothers hold up in an abandoned building and seek out Tony's help, who
Yeah.
they think is out of the life, and then it leaves you with a sort of, and then we take the story from there.
And like you
What
kind of
happens?
see that like there's gonna be something with Tony.
Out of the
Yeah.
frying pan and into the
Hobbit.
fire.
So are these those things that they write on the book sleeve?
Yeah, it is, I think so.
Yeah, yeah. They have people specializing writing book sleeve. Actually, ABT very familiar, yeah.
Yeah.
And sometimes they're very different.
Yeah, they are. Okay,
Okay.
5.
8, 7.
8.
9. I give it a 10.
Oh, you really like it.
I did mostly because I want to see the movie.
Whiplash.
Whiplash is really good.
It's a
Yeah,
really
it's
good
really
movie,
good.
yeah.
Yeah, I think it just I followed up for, so I gave it a high score because I thought it followed all the structures, and I never give a 10, so I thought I would give 10 because I thought it did a good job. I didn't feel like I needed to take points off. I think I gotta give the background, set up the conflict, and then see where it goes.
Well, who has the lowest score?
I was 7, was that the lowest?
Yeah, you're the lowest.
I mean, I didn't think there were any blatant errors, because I guess I just marked things down. I'm, you know, hard on the curve.
I thought you liked the shorter version.
Yeah, maybe it's because it's longer and I feel like it could have been a little shorter. And it kind of goes like, I felt like the therefore was very mixed with the but. They're like introducing the conflict and leading into like where you're going from there at the very end. I thought the build up to that was nice though.
Yeah, build up is nice, but I had a hard time trying to find the therefore, because the therefore introduces in the front. So,
Yeah.
Sort of like, oh, therefore this guy is running through a trial because, you know, he's have to deal with this maniac teacher.
Yes.
I honestly never know you can get so much blood beating the drum.
Yeah.
I mean, it was very bloody.
Yeah, it was.
I didn't see.
You didn't
It's
see
really-
it?
it's really good.
Yeah, because they break their, what do we call this?
What is this?
The Whiplash. It's a movie. It's really good.
They
J.K.
broke their
Simmons
bones
on the
on
Oscar.
the
Yeah, it's
camera.
good, yeah. It's good.
Best actor, right?
Supporting actor.
Supporting actor.
Yeah.
Okay. What do we do now?
I think we're gonna be on to your story.
I'll go to my story. This is the non-drama one. Oh, did Chelsea print out only the drama one? You guys have the non-drama one?
I printed it out.
I printed it out, yeah.
Okay. I didn't print out myself. I can print out, don't worry. I can
You
print
wanna
it.
print like
Oh, you
couple
need to make a
copies?
copy?
Does
Okay.
anyone else have it?
I don't have
Make a
it.
copy for you, that would be great.
Me too.
Yeah.
Okay.
Four.
Need one? 4.
Cool. It's great. It's in my mind, so I don't have to print out now. It's actually in the non-fiction version, it's actually quite difficult to try to decide what it is about. And I'm trying to kind of intentionally build in the but. That it's not obvious to me what is the most, well, this is Caroline's challenge, because she's gonna have to sell the building, the story, the space. What do you think the but is for the building before we read my story?
But all of the scientists kill each other before they move in because they're fighting over space.
That's the but, okay? Okay, all right. that's
But
fine.
one lone scientist survives.
There will be one law, it's like the Hunger Game, right? Whoever stands until last have a lot of space, the entire building, the rest will be dead.
Okay, so I think we usually do this wrong, so I think this time we right. Because there's 2 rounds of this, and I think on the first round, we're supposed to just read through and identify all the pieces, and then we go back through and talk about them.
Oh, okay. I
With
didn't
the
realize that,
abstracts.
even though I didn't. Okay.
I've been watching that thing every week, and I'm like, this doesn't correspond with what we're doing.
Okay.
So right now, we're looking for the second question.
So we read it.
This is a non-fictional one, right?
Yeah, this is non-fictional one. The fictional ones.
Is the other one fictional?
Yeah.
So we read the non-fictional one first.
The longer ones are fictional.
What are we trying to find?
Trying to find the central question.
So,
Which is like the word, so it's this nothing in blank makes sense except in the light of
okay.
blank, whatever that word is.
So nothing in acrocenter makes sense
Except in the light of.
in the light of what? Just to help those who cannot find the but, I put a empty line before that.
Great clue.
I was actually really struggling with this. It struggled a lot longer than my fictional one. So it tells me I'm much better at writing fiction. I should be a novelist. So are we supposed to talk when we read or no?
No, I think that it goes through, it cycles through these twice, like we do with the abstracts. And then the second round, we talk about it, like we do with the abstracts. I think, I might be wrong.
So did we get the central question?
No, so that's when they
Oh,
put
we
the
just
question and
write
the
it
word
down.
together, we're just making notes and.
I see.
I think. Did you watch those go by? Isn't that right? Did they go through twice?
Yeah, they do.
Okay.
I think we'd have this down by week 5 or whatever it is. So-
Those are this was the round we never pay attention to the. So now we're there, about there from.
Now we have back there from. But then we have two stories. What about the fictional one?
Didn't you tell me that the fictional one, we were just gonna go over this one, the fictional one was just to help people like get ideas going?
Is that
and
right?
I think so.
No, I think, just, they told me what is a fictional one, but I didn't know what to do with it. So read the fictional ones if there's anything I have myself doing. tight enough for everybody to have ABTs in this 10 minutes. I cut about 2/3 out of the original story.
That's true.
Hope to strike high school, I think.
Definitely helps. If you were to eliminate it, I'd start marking you up automatically. I would skip to the paragraph.
You did?
Stay on task.
Yes, ma'am.
10 minutes is a long time for ABT.
Somehow the abstract seems short. You know, they also 10 minutes each, but it doesn't feel that.
They said 10 minutes, it was not 10 minutes
Mhm.
per
Yeah.
thing.
I didn't think that.
If they were extra 10 minutes, that would be 50 minutes.
Oh, we got the presidential library.
Oh, we did?
No, that's a rumor.
Oh, really? I just saw it.
Uh-oh.
This says Sun Times. Okay, wait, let's see.
They claim it's going to Southside. There's
Yeah.
no official announcement.
Washington.
Yep. It
Yeah.
says the Sun Times is reporting that he's going to announce that Chicago.
Ooh.
I mean, let me double check this.
That's interesting. I mean, Charles was saying the other day when we were together that he's going to announce, but they didn't.
Right,
Yeah, for a while, yeah. But I did see a lot of more police on my street today, so
Really?
they might be home. So that's what I saw.
I think yesterday I heard they said it was gonna be like a
Oh, the announcement?
day. Yeah, but it's pretty much a sure shot that it's Hyde Park, but the official announcement is
I just read it said May 11th.
so.
Yeah, see, this is the same week. I guess.
Beat. Oh,
Hmm?
beat.
Let me just, do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm probably that should be pretty cool. Okay. Word.
It didn't give us time for the paragraph.
Oh,
Okay, so now we go back to
the word.
sharing the word.
Who is the word? Person.
Here's hers.
Is this,
Yeah.
is the word person?
Yes, so,
Am I the word person?
Yeah, you're the word person.
It's all
no,
you.
I'm trying to find the,
none of it was you.
I don't have mine.
where is the?
It's
No,
you,
it's not me.
Oh, it is? Okay. I thought the word was collaboration.
You like to collaboration.
Yeah. I thought,
I had the same word.
yeah, I thought that was like the main ones. Yeah.
I had 2 words. I had boundless experimentation.
Mm.
I think it is.
I didn't actually read that word, so
Never mind.
I forgot about that part.
We were thinking about that.
Yeah.
David?
I said breaking boundaries.
Mm.
Similar.
Yeah, in the same line,
Yeah.
right?
Mhm. What did you intend the word to be?
Without boundaries.
You know, about-
Yeah. So, I mean, collaboration is not wrong.
No, I think it also suggests that lack
Okay.
of boundary.
Is that really building motto, or are you making that up?
No, I'm not making it up, it is.
That is actually
Yeah,
the-
it's
the
gonna be on the
building
first
motto.
floor.
Will it really?
Yeah.
I'm using, if that's true, I have to use it for a communications
Oh.
plan that I'm putting together about the building for my dear colleagues.
I think the beyond boundary is whether you call it a model, I mean, nobody said
But
that
it'll
was.
be on the,
Yeah, I think it's on the first floor, yeah.
okay.
Was it always that?
It has a lot of back and forth, but everybody pretty much, I mean, there is like from tiniest to the vast, from atoms to universe, and then, actually, this is something I came up. I said, oh, forget its size, forget whatever. This is all about with no boundaries. Matt liked it. Matt sort of liked it.
Because this wasn't in your first draft of this, was it?
No, it was.
Because this makes it more, I was like, oh yeah, that's totally it. That, I think it sums it up.
Yeah, exactly. That's what Matt liked it a lot. He said, yeah, this really reflects what it is. It doesn't matter, it's a size, it's type of science, it's whether between boundary between science and engineering. Yeah, you can boundaries between community and the university, student and research. You can talk about divisions, PSD and IME, all sorts of boundaries. I mean, this just breaks all boundaries, that's what it said.
Are there any other words that are gonna be in the first floor?
I don't know, you can ask David, he's coordinator with MSI.
What do you mean on the first, like they're gonna be etched in stone?
Yeah, they will put, so what they do is they have a huge mirror in the hallway, it's a long hallway, it's going to be, and that mirror actually has a smaller version, and it was on a smaller wall with this thing on top, this thing, whether you call it a model or whatever it is. So that's why it's sort of summarizes the building's spirit or essence or whatever, so.
David's building the same as his CMSI building in Santa Barbara.
Yeah, I guess that building is okay. I saw it. So anyway, we're still on word. We're out of the word, so we're just gonna talk about other things.
Are there other words that people?
So the
Oh,
lobby
yes. Did you think of a word
actually,
now?
No, I just wrote down.
oh, you guys haven't
said.
seen the lobby is going to be a mobile, some kind of a mobile
This was gonna be
sculpture.
kinetic sculptures.
Yeah, so it's not kinetic,
Did they decide one?
They decide on the artist, but the first version, the astrophysics guy had a really huge problem because everything is molecule, there's nothing big. He wants somehow universe has to be big, but I mean, it doesn't look very dedicated, and so he's like, oh, everything is molecule. You can see molecule, but there's nothing big, so they can throw out back onto the
Some
drawing
rings
board.
on it.
What?
Put some rings on it. It looks like Saturn.
I say to put some stars, I mean,
Yeah,
that's
yeah, I
big, but I'm not that artist, so I just have to
Is it
worry
gonna
about
be done by the opening?
So
So this is
paragraph.
Yeah, do you see these don't go in the order that I think they should?
Who is the paragraph person?
Oh,
Right. So do we write the paragraph?
Did we?
Well, Carolyn knows.
I'm the paragraph person. The
No.
paragraph person is this log line.
Yeah, the log line.
So, which one are we doing? I did the paragraph for the fiction.
Oh, do the fiction better, yeah. I like the fiction better. Even though I
Paul
took,
in the ordinary world is a flawed character, and he comes across, I'm not writing this, I'm not saying this in any kind of stylistic. So he discovers conflict when his dream job is in conflict with his agoraphobia, and then he takes action in the form of looking at his choices, entering cyberspace, talking to a cyber counselor, and then deciding that he can talk to a real counselor so that he can overcome the opposition between those two competing events in his life and achieve the goal of working in a world-class Nobel scientific lab.
yeah. I don't know, I don't even remember. The only thing I can tell you is that cyberspace name has some meaning to it.
I was wondering about that, really.
Is it Chinese? Do you know Chinese?
I mean, I know a little bit.
A little bit. What is pa? It's fear. In Chinese,
Oh,
it's fear.
okay,
Yeah.
okay.
So usually when kids says they're very fearful, they say pa pa. So that's the pa pa. But bu is
Oh, Connie.
bu is no fear. So basically,
Oh,
for those people who are really fearful, don't fear. So that's Chinese.
Yeah.
But just because it does sound really kind of cyber, so I'm like, hey, I'm gonna use that. You know? Yeah, bu is just anything not, so not fear, it's bu pa. I could just call bu pa, but this guy is fearful, not fearful. But I have to look for this agoraphobia. I didn't know that, the word.
Agoraphobia.
Yeah. It's- They refer to fear of space. I mean, I totally cooked up, but apparently that is true.
Yes.
Yeah.
Quite
Fear of
common.
open spaces.
Yeah.
I hope there's not a real person that will feel open space, because there will be open labs.
Generally, people tend to use it more for the crowd problem. Like they're agoraphobic if they don't want to be out in like large groups of people.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so it's not the space, it's people.
Usually it's not like I'm scared of like having
Yes.
10 feet on all sides. It's like being near lots of people. What I've heard it used.
I actually know someone, or used to know someone who was afraid of open spaces, but the actual meaning of it, which is like going on a road trip through a cornfield or something, that was like terrifying, yeah.
That's more rare.
I guess it's real, even though I just cooked this up completely. So does this fulfill that circle or whatever? I'm trying to see if, I don't know if that actually fulfill that log.
Well, we have time for melody assignment.
Yeah, well, let's talk about that.
I actually have to look.
If I miss.
Should we turn off the camera?
Yeah.
Yeah. Sounds good.
There you go.
So whose story is next? Oh, that's Novi.
It's me.